Yes.
Hi, today we're lucky enough to be interviewing a mega country singer, Courtney Dickinson. Hi, Courtney, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just dealing with these California smoke that we got here. How's it in
Oh
Georgia?
no, I can only imagine. Well, we don't have the smoke. We are getting the back ends of this hurricane. So we're getting all the wind and the rain and tornadoes. So it's a crazy weather, I think, all over the US right now.
You're being safe, right?
Yes.
That's most important. Well, we're here today to talk about you have a new single called See You Here. Let's talk about that.
Yes, I am super, super excited about it. I've released a good amount of music over the years, but my last one was about a year and a half ago. So I took a little bit of time back, and this one means more to me, I think, than anything I've ever released. And it's because it's something special to me that it was a song I wrote about my grandparents who had all passed away. And I had such a close relationship with all three of them. And I was extremely lucky to be able to have such a close relationship. And it took a while for me to be able to put into words, I guess, what I was feeling. And I finally did years later. And so I'm just really excited to finally release it. And hopefully other people will get some comfort out of it like I did writing it.
I wonder, who you may have written it about. When you hear a song that a songwriter's written, it touches your heart and you wonder, where that came from. And it's really great to hear that. There's nothing like grandparents.
Definitely. And I was the only grandchild on one side, and then I was one of eight on the other. But that one of eight, I never felt like one of eight. I felt like the only one there too. So I did have a close relationship with them. They were actually a reason that I took a step back from music for a while and took a break. They all three got very sick at some point and were in hospital or hospice. So to me and my family, it was extremely important to take those last few weeks with them and really cherish them and take care of them and spend time with them. And I was lucky enough to be able to do that with all three of them. So it was just a very, very close relationship. So yeah, and I see them in everyday life. So that's kind of what I wrote about.
So this particular song, did you write it in a notebook, on napkins? How did it come about, you actually writing it?
So I had a writing appointment with one of my friends, Max Gabriel, and he had produced and written my last single with me. And it's it's kind of weird in a way. You walk in a room just with songwriters and you just pour out your whole, life story, and it's totally normal. But for me, this one was kind of one I was saving for the right person, someone that I could trust and I knew I could openly share with, and be vulnerable with. And Max is a really good friend, and we've written a couple of songs together. So I felt like he was the perfect one to be able to do this with. So when I went in, we talked about it, and it took a couple writing sessions. And then we actually brought a third person in to kind of help us tweak some stuff. His name is Davis Corley. And we brought him in because we got so attached to it, I think, and we just needed a third person just to kind of step back and give us, and he was great. Oh my gosh, he gave us some great ideas. So then it just kind of kept flowing from there. And a lot of it is very personal. The whole thing is, when you hear it, for people that haven't yet, the first verse talks about cigarette smoke. And that was an extremely vivid memory for me as a kid, because my grandparents smoked, and you just walk in the house and there would be, an air of cigarette smoke. So it's something I think that everyone can relate to, though, if they've lost somebody.
It's a very amazing song. It's definitely going to go up the charts. That's for sure. So your other couple of songs I heard went to that reached the top 40. So Over the Rainbow and Freedom. Let's talk about how you felt when that happened.
That was such an amazing feeling. When chart day comes out, which usually is Thursday for the chart I was on, Thursdays were a scary day. It was exciting, but it was so cool to see it climb, and especially to see your name mixed in among people like Luke Combs and Carrie Underwood and all these people. As I mean, of course, they're going up the chart a lot higher rate than you are, but still, the fact that you're on the same chart, it was just so cool to see it happen. And hoping this one will have the same effect.
Also, let's talk about that. You won a contest to do a duet with Billy Ray Cyrus. What was that like?
I was 12 years old when that happened. And that was, oh my gosh, that was when I think it clicked for me, really. And that's really what made me think, I think I can do this. I won a contest at a local station here in Atlanta, and I got to sing live with him on the radio with a huge syndicated, station. So, and he was the nicest person. He was so nice, just made me feel so comfortable, and kept talking about how good I was. I mean, he just made you feel like you were just someone he'd known all his life. So that was super cool to be able at 12 years old to sing with Billy. And at that time, that's when he was on Hannah Montana. So as a 12-year-old, you were just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So it was really cool.
That's great. Yeah, I'm 60 now, and I loved Hannah Montana. Loved it. Great show. Well, congratulations on that. And I also read that you were 5 years old when you were on the Grand Ole Opry with Little General Cloggers, a dance group. Let's talk about that.
Yes. So when I was little, I just loved people and entertaining. So my mom got me in anything and everything that we could get into. And there was a local clogging group here in Kennesaw, Georgia, which is where I grew up. And we got to travel and do all sorts of different things with clogging. But the coolest thing out of everything, of course, was Grand Ole Opry. And we got to clog on the Grand Ole Opry. And at that point, I was 5, and at that point, my hair was probably more orange, a redheaded kid. So they made me the mascot. So I got to present a flag to John Conley, and it was really cool. And all I can remember is just how bright the lights were on stage at 5 years old. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get back here someday. So yeah, I guess I've always been in the entertaining industry.
Yeah, about entertainment. So you're also a SAG member. Let's talk about that.
I am. So again, I'm always in the entertainment industry, and my mom got me in anything and everything I could get into. And for a while I did theater, and I really fell in love with acting when I was probably 8, 9, 10. And I'm sure you'll be familiar with this, did the whole pilot season in Los Angeles for different, for a couple of years actually. And I had a lot of luck with commercials. Back then, they wanted a redhead, freckle-faced kid in commercials. So I was able to get a lot of parts doing that. And that's how I became a SAG member, was doing commercials.
Well, do you miss that, or do you really like what you're doing today?
I do in some ways. I've always said that I'd love to get back to it. But when I was out in LA, I actually found a vocal coach out there, and he gave me some advice, and he said, basically, if you divide yourself between 2 different ways, you're going to get 50-50 in both. So if you really need to go after one. And I do. I love music more. It's definitely my passion. And not to say that I don't love acting. If there was an opportunity that came up, of course I would take it, and it'd be so much fun. But music is definitely the #1 passion.
So what other big country artists have you been working for in your career?
What other country artists have I been what?
That you've worked with, opened for, or shows,
Oh,
anything like that?
I got to open for Sugarland, Cowboy Troy, Big and Rich's party. That was really cool. Who else have I gotten to open for? I've had a lot of cool opportunities. Of course, I got to sing with Billy Ray Cyrus. But I think the most fun that I've had was with Cowboy Troy. He is such a nice guy. Again, they all make you just feel so welcomed. And me and him, I got to do something with him before the Big and Rich pre-party that they were having. And that was really cool. That was a good crowd.
Well, is there any other talent out there that you'd like to maybe do a duet with?
Oh, goodness. Yes, there are so many. Someone that I really been listening to that I of course Luke Combs. I mean, he's amazing. But someone that I think would be awesome to do a duet with is Shania Twain, and that's because that was my first concert I ever went to. I was 5 or 6 years old, and I have loved her ever since, still do. And I think that would just be like a total dream come true if I got to sing with her.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. She's one of my favorites. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that one.
Yes.
Wow. And I also read, here you are so busy, you're touring radio stations, performing all over the US, and you earned a degree in marketing, like online. Girl, you go.
That was one of the hardest things I've ever done, was doing an online degree, promoting my own song to radio, and then touring. That was a very stressful year.
I bet. So during this pandemic, where we're having to stay home, are you finding more time to write? Are you doing any Zoom performances? What have you been doing?
I've done a lot of lives on Instagram and Facebook. I've gotten to do that, which has been kind of cool because, I think it's funny that a lot of musicians were doing it beforehand, but not as much as we are now. And people that would love to come to your show that are too far away that can't, it's been really cool to be able to connect with them online, and them, they're talking to you all about how they want to see you do this song, and they give you suggestions. So I've done a lot of lives, and that's been really cool and really fun. I have been writing too. I think the pandemic was hard for me because, like you just said about the marketing degree and all that, that was 2019. So to go from that at 100 miles an hour to 2020, it was such a big shift. And it's been interesting trying to get used to all this free time.
Wow. I can see in the corner of your screen, you've got a guitar there. Would that be
Yes.
putting you on the spot to ask you to play a little bit?
No, of course not.
Let's do it. Oh,
This
goodness.
one's
Look
my
at that beautiful
new one.
guitar.
This is my new one. It's brand new, like a week old. So this is going to be one of the first few times I've played it.
Awesome.
Would you like to hear the single?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll do See You Here then. Front porch on your old farmhouse. Been a while, but still see clearly. Cigarette smoke filling the air. Close my eyes and I feel you near me. Every word you said, everything you did, still running around my head. I need to play through pictures to remember you. 'Cause I see you here. Even though you left, you're never really gone. You're here. How can I forget when you're living on? Damn, I wish you knew how much I'm missing you. All the memories and tears won't disappear. Still see you here. You were always the life of the party. Old jokes with the perfect timing. Don't wanna laugh if it ain't with you, but I still do. And when I do, you're right beside me. Even though you left, you're never really gone. You're here. How can I forget when you're living on? Damn, I wish you knew how much I'm missing you. All the memories and tears won't disappear. Still see you here. I see you here. Even though you left, you're never really gone. You're here. How can I forget dead, but you're living on. Damn, I wish you knew how much I'm missing you. All the memories and tears won't disappear. I still see you here. I still see you here. Still see you here. Front porch on your old farmhouse. Been a while, but I still see clearly.
Wow, fantastic. There you go, folks. Download that single. It's amazing. Thank you so much. That guitar fits you well.
Thank you. I love it. I had a jumbo and it was too big, so I finally got me a Martin.
Oh my God, Martin. Wow. Well, that was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. It was amazing. Sounds awesome.
Thank you.
Live. Well, let's take a second to talk about also Variety. It's the Children's Charity of Georgia. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, that is another passion of mine. I'm very, very blessed to be able to do music and also have a job at the same time as well. And it's been great, especially during this pandemic, of course. And they are just amazing. They are an international charity, but I work for the Georgia chapter. And our specific chapter in Georgia, all chapters focus on different things, but we really focus on the mobility bike program. So we help kids with special needs and disadvantages, but my favorite program is the mobility bike. So it allows kids who have special needs to be able to ride a bike like a regular developed child could. And it's just amazing because these kids who normally wouldn't be able to ride your typical bike finally ride a bike now, no matter what their special need is. And we actually delivered a bike today, this morning. And just to see the joy and the smile on these kids' faces when they're getting on a bike for the first time. And, you know, some of these kids are 12 years old and they've never been able to get on a bike because they're so expensive. And to be able to grant kids bikes is just something that's super, super cool.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, great. I'll make sure we let our readers and viewers know how we can, you know, support your charity. Also, how can our viewers download your new single?
The new single will be available everywhere that has anywhere you can stream and buy. So you can get it on all the streaming platforms. It will be available all over. So Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, everywhere. So whatever platform you use, you can stream and buy and download it from there. I'm not picky at all. So if you're whatever your preferred platform is, you can buy it or download there.
I believe it's going to be released on Thursday, the 18th? Or Friday?
Friday.
Friday. Oh my goodness. Boy, the days. Friday.
Yep, it'll be out Friday.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sing your beautiful new single and talking about what you've been doing.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem.